Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Hope you guys are having a rocking week so far. I know I am. I'm actually on vacation. I think I mentioned it last week that next time you hear from me, it will be from a hotel room somewhere here in this great earth that we live in. And that's what I'm doing. A lot of people say, hey, Frank, but what's going on? Why do you record these things live, first of all? And number two, why are you doing it on vacation? You know why? Because, I love this stuff. Marketing, to me, it's not work. Marketing is something that I love, so it never seems like work to me. And delivering great content to help you guys become better marketers, it's even better. So, anyway, that's my reason for this. So I'm really having a great time. So it's early morning here, and it's early morning everywhere. But I wanted to get this out because I keep getting some vibes from my clients that I said, you know what, I want to address this. So when I was on the plane just last Friday, this when we were coming down here, I was thinking, I said, you know what, I get this a lot. Let me put together a nice little cheat. I call it cheat sheets, but a sheet. When I prepare my podcast, what I like to do is put together a sheet of what I'm going to talk about, so I have some talking points as I do it. So I was preparing the sheet on the plane because I kept getting a lot of things that's really wrong in terms of email marketing. A lot of people seem to think that email newsletters are just dead. Like the whole email marketing in general is dead. And I can't tell you, I got to tell you, it's nothing further from the truth. And I'm going to prove it to you. Now, what has happened, in your defense, for those of you who think it's dead, the open rates have gone down tremendously because we have other things now. We have text messaging. We've got all these other marketing strategies that are out there. So it's not as effective as it was when it first got out, because everybody was like, oh, I got an email with my name on it. And, they didn't know that it was somebody that you can actually replace your name with a filler, et cetera, et cetera. I'm talking years ago. This is back 2004, 2003, 2004. But now it's common knowledge that it's all, coming from a software that's doing that. So the thrill of getting an email isn't as provocative as it was before. Therefore, you have to change strategies. And this is what I love about marketing, folks. It's always changing. And I'm telling you something today that probably, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, it's going to be totally different too. But it doesn't mean that it's out, that it's dead or whatever. So take a look. So the title of this, I'm titling it 10 strategies to make sure your email newsletter gets open, because that's the biggest complaint that I get from people. It's like, well, Frank, I'm sending emails out and no one's opening them. Then they hire us and all of a sudden, voila, things get opened because we have a mechanism. This is what we do. We do this all day in and day out. So we understand that there are changes in the industry and we go with the changes. That's our job. That's what we do. So I'm here to educate you on that. So hopefully this helps you. But before we get into the 10 strategies, let's discuss something. Let's do some housekeeping. So number one, I want you guys to go to my website. Okay, go to my website right now. That's lbmsllc.com. snapshot.com. When you get there on the landing page, you're going to see this button on one of the sliders that says your online presence report. I want you guys to request a free online presence report. Very important that you do this because this way you will know exactly how you stand online. How are you against your competitor? Are you better? Are you worse? Whatever. Very important stuff that we understand what your online presence looks like. Okay, so I want you guys to head on there right now, lbmsllc.com. Request your free online presence report, and that way you know what's going on, and if there's some things that need to be fixed, there's a way of getting a hold of us so we can sit down and help you fix the errors that come up. If you come up clean as a whistle, then no need to worry about it. Just say, hey, thanks for the free report. And at least we know that we're good. Awesome. So, anywho, so let's dive in. This is the last week of July. And we want to start off in August with a bang. And the way to start off with a bang is let's implement some of these strategies to get your newsletter open, because you don't want to leave this element of digital marketing aside. If you are, you're going to be leaving a lot of money on the table. No one wants to do that. So like I said, a lot of people say that, hey, email marketing is dying, but the fact remains that email marketing is not dying. Okay. It's pretty incredibly effective. So here's what I saw. And you know me, I'm a data guy. I'm a stats person. I saw that over 102.6 trillion emails are sent annually. Can you believe that? And that number is actually projected to increase in the coming years. So why are people saying that email marketing is dead? If people are still sending emails, it's not dead. That means it's something you're doing incorrectly. So let's dive in with the content. So the number one strategy to ensure that your newsletter gets open is, number one, you want to get crafty with your subject lines. That is the number one thing. Subject lines is key with everything. Make it controversial. The subject line is like what it's going to make or break your email. Okay. It's going to do it. So you want to lead, you want your lead to have dozens of unread. You don't want your lead, to have dozens of unread emails that they'll be skimming through. Okay. So, and they probably are going to have that because a lot of people tend to skim through what's important to them. So the subject line needs to be something that's going to catch their eye and compel them to open the email. So that's number one, and that's very important. So what usually works is something controversial. And again, if we could sit down with you right now and give you some pointers, it'll be great. Not knowing your industry is hurting me right now, so I can't even give you some pointed direction. But, make sure that your subject lines is always has to do with something controversial, or maybe it doesn't even have to be controversial, but controversial usually works around your industry. So if you're an attorney and there's a new law that came out that does, whatever amazing thing or whatever, I don't know, that's sweeping the nation. Or maybe it's not sweeping the nation. It's just around your county and probably people didn't hear about it. You want to lead off with a subject line like that. Something that's going to grab their attention. So I always put the email subject line when I'm writing them through the so what test. And here's what I mean. So if I write a subject line and I look at it and I say, so what? If it gives me, a little eerie feeling, so what? Then I don't write it down. I'll think of something else. A good way of getting good subject lines is just looking at the news in general, to be honest with you. The people who do newsletters on the for the news, they're masters at this. They're masters at this. So you can get ideas from them as well. I sometimes do that. If something caught my attention, I try to use that and twist it into something for my industry, if that makes sense. Hope that helps. Number 2, you want to keep it short. Okay. Here's the thing. A lengthy email subject is going to get cut off. Okay. So you want to remain mindful of the character lengths and try to fit the subject line within it. Okay. With the majority of emails that are being opened on mobile devices, your focus should be on limiting the subject lines to, say, 17 to 24 characters tops. Okay. So remember that iPhones show approximately 38 characters to portray in portrait mode, while the Android devices show about 33 characters. So your hook may not deliver the intended objective to the recipient. Okay. If they can't read it, basically. So you just remember those numbers. Okay. Remember that iPhone and most of these emails are being opened in devices. That's the bottom line. And so you want to keep it 17 to 24 characters. Remember the rule of thumb. iPhones show approximately 38 and the Android show approximately 33. Okay. So those are some rules of thumb that you want to do. So start implementing this thing and you'll start seeing a change in your email marketing efforts. Number 3 is to take a genuine tone. So don't try to come off as a, say, overly enthusiastic salesperson. Okay. You don't want to do that. Nobody appreciates that in a retail environment either. So even if look at how the retail environment does. No one appreciates the salesperson. So you don't want to do that through email. So you want to keep in mind that you're reaching out to actual people, not like, just machines. So keep a genuine and empathetic tone to your messaging. Okay. So it's similar to what you'd not be offended by either, So again, you want to put that through not so much a so what test, but you want to, keep reading it over and over again and then see if it sounds genuine. That's the best advice I could give you, again, without knowing what your business is. Number 4 is you want to send your email blast at the right time. This is very important. So before pressing send to light up the entire email list, think about whether it's the right time to drop a line in their inbox. Okay, so as an example, if you have leads in different time zones, sending out the emails is to everyone at the same time would mean that a lot of people would get the email when they're probably asleep, depending on how your list is. So by the time they check their inbox in the morning, your email will likely be buried under, say a bunch of other emails, that they received throughout the night. So when you don't consider the time, unfortunately, that reduces the open rates and makes your email effort, pretty much ineffective. So think about time zones. They have software now. I love the thing called ConvertKit that you can time it and say when you want to send this email based on their time zone. So there's a little setting that says, sending email based on their time zone, not yours. So that, and this is for people who do, if you have, like, for instance, for me, I have clients all over the country. So if they're in Florida, they'll get it at 8:00 in the morning. But if they're in LA, they'll also get it at 8:00 in the morning. If they're in LA, they're not getting it at 5 in the morning. I wouldn't do that because my software is going to say, hey, yeah, this guy's is in LA. So, but if you're a local business, you don't have to worry about that. But this is one strategy if you cater to people outside of your local area. Okay, awesome. You don't want to, number 5, you don't want to spam your leads with too many emails. Very, very, very important. So email drip marketing, quote unquote, is what what was coined back in the day. Email drip marketing. It's pretty effective. It could be a pretty effective tool, but if you have a series of automated messages sent approximate intervals, it's a proven method, but it also increases your chances of converting them, okay, because you have a proven method. But here's the thing, though. You have to be very leery of the cadence, okay? If you go overboard and going with so many emails and bombard them, you could be regulated to the spam folder, unfortunately. And so you got to be very leery of that. So nobody likes to be drawn in by emails and then all of a sudden end up in spam, because what happens is if you so be leery of the cadence is the important thing here. So I say the rule of thumb is you email people once every other day that's the most aggressive you want to be. Once every other day. Me personally, because I'm B2B, I do it once a week. But that's fine with me, and it doesn't end up in their spam box. But other industries may have to be a little bit aggressive, maybe once every other day. Depends on the industry, really. Again, if we can get together and you have a particular process, I'd love to go over it, and I'll show you how to not end up in your spam box. Okay. So number 6, you want to scrub your email list. So here's what I mean. Email lists can go pretty stale, unfortunately, especially if you have a large list. So most of them have pretty much probably unsubscribed, or they've been applied to the spam filters, unfortunately. So, and then the others that may not be interested anymore in your brand. I mean, that's life, so you got to get over that. So sending emails to them isn't going to serve any purpose. It really doesn't. So don't forget, you want to scrub out your email list from time to time, because email marketing is not a set and forget. A lot of people say, oh yeah, you can just set up this whole thing and, maybe with a drip campaign or set up an automated newsletter and, forget about it. No, you got to go in there and scrub the email list, because that's going to help you with your email software has AI, has artificial intelligence, and it's going to know who's opening and who's not. So the more your percentage of open is up, the more it's going to show up on people's inbox and not their spam box. So that's very key. Okay. So you want to, and also you want anything that shows up on the unsubscribe, you want to remove them. So that way it doesn't hurt your brand. Okay. So number 7, you want to segment your list. Segmentation of the list actually helps you tailor marketing efforts. So, and it's real simple with the thing. So split it up into maybe even gender, Depends on your type of business, but you could split it up with demographic, gender, location, even average spend. Like, I have my list separated with my mobile app people versus my website people versus my marketing people. And then in marketing, they even segmented out like my Facebook marketing, my Google marketing, PPC, SEO, etc. So I know I can send them information that they're interested in because they're doing that. Okay. Hope that makes sense. So that also helps with relevance and all that kind of stuff. And when you do that, your open rate goes through the roof. This is critical. Number 7 is critical. It just goes up through the roof. I've put that into the test time and time again, and it always goes up through the roof. Number 8, you want to add a personal touch. So here's another stat that I love sharing stats with you guys. A study actually found that 68% of Americans decide whether they want to open an email or not based on the from name. Can you believe that? So if you add this personal touch, you could probably increase your email open rate significantly just by doing that. It's pretty interesting. I only saw this stat on Americans. I'm going to do the same study worldwide and hopefully bring you an update on that. But as of right now, the only stat that I could find was the 68% of Americans. So let me give you an example. So instead of just the company name in the sender's name, use, say, your own or those who manage your email marketing, for instance. So you could say Adam from, ABC brand or whatever. It's probably better than just simply saying ABC brand on the personal touch, okay, of adding the actual name. So that's just the thing. If those of you who are on my list, you'll see either Frank Deming or you'll see Frank Deming, the local business guy, so people know who I am. All right, so number 9, excuse me, I almost said number 2. Number 9, you want to focus on email design. So a good email design will lead to drastically improving open rates. Really, really simple. I mean, this has been proven throughout. So, pick a lot of these email tools have these default templates that you can use, and they're pretty decent. They're not bad, but if you have the skill set and you can design your own that has your own branding on it and all that without using their template, do that as well. But a good design is going to help people want to open the email. I mean, I can't tell you how many different designs we went through before we found one that works for us. So my team and I, we just kept testing and testing and testing, and now we're like, oh, okay, this works. This is pretty good. And 10, last but definitely not least, this is something that I say a lot, and I'm sorry for sounding like a broken record, but content is king. See, here's the thing. Content remains the most important thing. And it plays a very important role in the success of your email marketing efforts. Okay. So yeah, yes. Okay. Let me put it this way. Yes, the open rate, the email subject line is important. Yes, putting your name in there is going to get people more opens and all that stuff. But the bottom line of email marketing is what is in the content. So yeah, if you get them to open it, but when they open it, it's garbage, you're not going to keep them. So content is king. Good content is king. Make sure that when you push out this newsletter, it's something of relevance. It's something that keeps them interested. It keeps them wanting to see emails from you, keeps them engaged, whatever that is. That's the hard part right there. Number 10 is key. It also happens to be the hardest part, and where people fail in email marketing is because the content that they push out is not something of interest to the audience, and then they end up opting out. Okay. So you want to overhaul your email marketing efforts with these strategies. Okay. So rethink everything of what you're doing today before you abandon this very important strategy. You want to rethink everything. Don't forget that email marketing is a very powerful tool. I'm going to go over the 10 one more time before I close off, because it's very important that you get this. Number 1, you want to get crafty with your subject lines. Very important. Subject line is going to get them to open it. Number 2, you want to keep it short, meaning keep the subject line short. Remember the character limits that we talked about earlier. If you forgot, replay this and you'll remember. Number 3, you want to take a genuine tone, very genuine. Don't be salesy. No one likes pushy salespeople or enthusiastic salesperson. So, don't use none of that stuff. It doesn't work. 4, send your email blast at the right time. If you can use your software effectively, make sure, and if you're outside of your area, if you market to people outside your area, make sure that the time zones, they're sent in their time zone. Okay. Number 5, don't spam your leads with too many emails. Just don't overwhelm them, folks, because what is going to happen is that the AI in the tool that you use is going to detect this as spam and then put it in a spam box, and they're not going to see it anyway. 6, you want to scrub your email list. Okay, look at it. Anyone who unsubscribes, just take them out. Look who's been opening, who's been not opening, and all that kind of stuff. So you want to scrub it, because that's going to help you out with your open rate, and it's the AI in your software is going to determine how well your email marketing efforts are doing. 7, you want to segment your list. Segment them from customers to prospects. Segment them from, if they buy this package versus that package, etc., because you want to send relevant emails all the time to segmented portions of the list. Then number 8, you add a personal touch. Add your name. Don't say it's ABC brand. It's John Doe from blah blah blah. Very important. Number 9 is you want to focus on your email design. Also, aesthetically, has to be aesthetically pleasing to keep them interested. And 10. This is the most important thing, because after you do all of that stuff that we just talked about, if number 10 is off, you're screwed. And that's content is king. Make sure you're giving them relevant and useful content at all times. So that's all I have for you today, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did enjoy this episode, please share it with other business owners like yourself. And have them subscribe. I hope you've subscribed. If you liked it, subscribe, share it with others, have them subscribe, because the more people we help with digital marketing, the better the world will be. So until next week, I'll be back from vacation, folks. When next time we chat, I will be back from vacation. So I'll be back in my office in New Jersey. But until then, you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys next week for another episode. Take care, and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with. and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.